Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Wednesday, November 6th. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, a little bit about politics, but not politics. And trying to be a better person. And why do I say that? I had a conversation with a young lady yesterday. And a young lady, she's in her 50s. And she lost her job over this backstabbing, telling lies, and not being honest when they should have. And even the people that you take, that we call them backstabbers, and that is they run from one to the next to the next to the next, and they try to pit each other against each other, and it just leads to a lot of turmoil, drama that wasn't needed. And I don't think they understand or even realize the level of hurt that they pose. But stay tuned. Alrighty, so welcome back. Yes, my name is Eric, if you didn't already know it, and this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is November 6th on a Wednesday. So, it's the day after the presidential election. Alright? To me, I don't care who you voted for. I don't even care too much of why you voted that way. It's more so there's been this divide amongst us as individuals. And as far as I'm concerned, we all got played. Some worse than others. I don't squabble with people over politics. I don't get into it. I don't because I don't think that politicians on the most part are honest about anything. I don't see where they really do much. And when they do stuff, it seems to hurt us more than it helps us. You know, you can't go around, what do they say, putting out spot fires instead of finding out who the arsonist is. They keep setting them. And that's how I look at the country today. We are so divided on everything. You know, that stressed right to the max. We got to blame somebody, right? Well, it's got to be Trump's followers. And it's got to be, Kamala Harris's followers. And Biden, Obama, you go on and on, Bush. But I think we've been more divided than we ever been. And this serves their purpose, not our purpose. Our country is great because of the people that are here. We are what makes up what I call a melting pot. And a melting pot is we come from all walks of life, all locations on the globe. Somewhere, somehow, like my great grandmother came over and come into New York from Scotland, and she had her kids in tow, and they made the best of what they had. Now you could say, well, I'm for having open borders. To what extent? I mean, there's people that were on the waiting list for 8, 9 years, jumping through all these hoops just to get their husband or wife citizenship from another country. If you think we're being too hard on illegals, and that's what they are. They are illegal aliens. They cross the border illegally. Whether you want to say it or not, we don't need any more laws. There's laws already on the books. So why create any more that would just cause more confusion, right? Let the officers do their job within the grasp of the law that it is. But no, we allowed them in. We gave them debit cards that were loaded with cash, gave them cash, gave them free medical, free housing. And what do I say about that? What about our veterans that are homeless on the streets? What about our mentally ill, the ones that have mental health problems? And that groups a lot of your vets too that have mental health problems. They can't function because of what they've seen, gone through. I know New York, quite a number of years ago, started shutting down all of our psych facilities. They were state run. And I'll tell you, it was all about money. It wasn't about doing the right thing for mental health. It was, why spend that money on a sector of people that will not vote for us? That's what it boils down to. So New York went on this rampage of shutting all these psych units down. And now people are not getting the adequate care that they need. And some patients need to be inpatient in the hospital. And some of the citizens need to, the unit they had up here, they had like 4,000 at one time back in this early days. But they put a brand new state-of-the-art with 4 wings, I think, in it. And each wing would hold 20. They closed it down to 1 now, and they're not willing to even go full capacity on that. They say because of the cost. And we need to get the people back in the community to feel like they belong part of the community. I could get on my high horse over a lot of these things, but I don't. I respect how you feel. You need to respect how I feel and go forward. But I think today, if Trump wins, you need to make him your president. Instead of having this, he's not my president, and having a meltdown. I would not have had a meltdown with Kamala Harris. I didn't have one with Biden. And I didn't vote for either. You want to know the truth. So if the person that you wanted to win didn't win because you didn't vote, I don't know what to tell you. But what I can tell you is I want to come together on the same level playing field, and I want to go hand in hand with you, and I want to make sure that we're going in the right direction forward. That's what's going to make America back to its glory. It's not going to be any given one president. I can tell you that right now. It's going to be something that draws all of us together as a nation that says we need to take care of this right now. We need to straighten out a lot of this bullshit that's going on. Men and girls sports, not. Kids that are getting hormone replacement and surgeries, not. If you're in jail, prison, and you want a sex change, not. Go afford your own when you get out. I didn't put you there. You put yourself there. We need to do away with the cashless bail. We need to make penalties a little stiffer. We need to just step back and go by what's on the books before all this stuff came about. Is it making us safer? No. The way it is now? No. You could have somebody kill somebody, and by the time that officer has them into the department and does the paperwork on them, they're already out on bail because they didn't have to come up with any bail money to do it again. How asinine is that? You could say, well, you'd feel differently if it was you that got arrested. No, I wouldn't. Because if I did something that I got arrested for, then I need to do my time. It's the only fair thing to do, right? What else should we cover? Those are the big things. But my big thing to you is we're all Americans, and we need to start acting like it instead of, pushing each other away and trying to downtrot each other. We need to pull each other up by our bootstrings and get going in a forward direction, going hand in hand. Alrighty, so enough on my politics, and so each of you have your own views, and I definitely do. I sometimes I don't understand it, but I let you know that I respect you, and I don't want to sway anybody in their vote or how they feel. Isn't it time we came together as a nation? Really? Because we can't keep going this way. We can't. You got family member against family member, friends against friends. It used to be close friends that now won't talk anymore because one found out that one voted for Trump, the other one voted for Biden last election. What the hell? Do you think that president cares anything about the two of you? No. So what do we got going on today? So today we got both trailers loaded. The 18-foot pull behind has got a Gator, zero turn. It's John Deere, zero turn. It's a Husqvarna, and a rototiller. And then on the dually with the fifth wheel, the gooseneck, we have the John Deere going home first thing this morning. So we're going to make a 2-hour trip with the John Deere, get that dropped off, come back, pull that in, and then take off with the other one that's a 2.5-hour trip, round way, okay? Get those cleared off our plate and out of the yard. We did deliveries again yesterday afternoon of getting rid of, was it 2 push, 1 rider, and a trail cart that Truck Supply used to sell. They got the Honda engines and they aren't too bad to work on. So we'll be pretty busy most of the day just driving all over the country. And this week we took in 2 8Ns, snowblower, backpack blower, and I got to do a video on the backpack blower. You guys will get a laugh. Customer says that it will start right up, but it won't rev. They go to rev it up and it just dies. Well, I do a walk around, a once over on any unit that comes in before I even get a wrench out. I'm just visually looking at things. And on the air breather cover, there's 5 holes, okay? And they're about the size of my pinky right here. And something doesn't look right. So I tip the unit up, and sure enough, the mud daubers, they're wasp up in our area, have packed that every hole right full of dirt. And that in itself can explain why it wouldn't rev up. I may just take the cover off and blow them out away from the unit, put it back on, see if it revs up. If it does, easy peasy, right? The mud wasp got you. But yeah, we got one tractor that's in that needs quite a bit of work. We've got one tractor that's stuck in gear that we got to go pick up yet. So far, our work has been pretty good. I mean, I'm not complaining. We're swamped at times, but it's like that feast or famine. I'd rather have the feast than the famine. So lastly, I think one of the things that, I started off in the intro is talking with this young lady about how she had lost her job. And it was because 2 other people that worked with her, for her rather, she was a supervisor. She was enforcing the rules of what they were supposed to be doing it a certain way. And the 2 didn't like it. So when she was off over the weekend, the 2 went to their supervisor above and made complaints that this one was doing this and that, was doing what they were doing. And she ended up, losing her job, but she was making $8 an hour more than the rest of them there. And I'm more inclined to think that it was a financial thing than it was, because they could hire somebody off the street to do her job with no experience, for $8 less an hour. But the key there that you need to understand is when you start telling lies, you're not hurting just yourself. Most often the case is like with this young lady. She ended up losing her job. She had worked for this company for over 32 years. And they're fighting her having unemployment because they terminated her. And New York State's got that on the books now, that they can terminate you for whatever reason they want. There's no clause there that says you have to come up with a reason. They don't like you, they terminate you. But she was getting close to retirement. What does that tell you? But the next time you want to go out and gossip and spread rumors and run from one to another, understand you're not hurting just yourself. You're hurting everybody involved. And I know many of you probably don't even think of it that way. But when you start talking behind other people's backs, and it gets back to that person, and then they confront you, and then you get all upset. Wouldn't it have been easier just to keep your mouth shut? I've had a long-standing policy with me and my mouth, is I will not say anything to anybody that I wouldn't say to somebody's face. Same thing with Facebook. I will not post anything on Facebook that I wouldn't tell that individual straight up. But you won't find me posting nitty-gritty crapola on Facebook, nor will you see me pitting one against the other. I don't allow that. If you have a shop, this is one of the first policies that I developed when we started the business, was I don't care what a customer says. You never say anything bad against another customer nor another business. Stay neutral. Because a lot of times that person is in there, telling you how bad that other shop is. The minute they can get you to say, well, maybe they should have done this and this and this, they will run back to the other shop and then twist your words. And then you and the other shop are at odds, right? And the person that did it is ha-ha. Or they get upset when they get confronted by both shops, because both shops are on the same page of saying, we don't talk bad about each other. If we got something to say to each other, we just go say it. We don't need a third party doing our bidding. If you're doing that kind of stuff, stop. You're making an ass out of yourself, and you're hurting a lot of people. So on that note, guys, I'm going to cut it off here pretty quick. The wind, trying to get enough breath to go long term on these videos. But if there's videos that you really like to see that you haven't seen, post it in the comments. This video or this channel has become, I'm so impressed with it, because it's about you guys and your involvement and meeting new friends. You guys are just awesome. So I really appreciate that you support and keep coming back. And if there's anything that I can do that I can talk about that would help you in any way, shape, or manner, please say the word. That's what I'm about, is trying to help lift you up or give you education or teach you something that you need to know, or that you got it pretty well figured out. And always remember, from me, it's advice. Take what you can use and leave the rest. You're not going to be able to take somebody's success from how they did a certain startup and try to mimic it, because you don't have the drive or the tenacity or the know-how that the other person might have. You're two different individuals, so you got to do it your own way. Seriously. If you want to start a business, look around you at all the different businesses that are doing business, and then don't do that because they're already saturated. All right, so you guys have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you here bright and early tomorrow morning.